Trunk swung once with a killer right hook, and his attacker went down without a sound. The other 6 hostiles went for the seemingly easier targets. Pill, with his glasses slanted on the bridge of his nose and his bald fists raised in the worst attempt at a defensive boxing position Idina had ever seen, and Badge. They probably should have gone for someone else first, though, because once Badge started swinging, she didn't let up. Idina took all this in. Then an enemy combatant was on her, swinging the butt of his rifle toward her head. She ducked and jabbed her gun butt up into his gut instead and spun to prepare for another attack. A massive explosion and a rain of thick white chalk burst from the ground 15 paces from where she was fighting off her attacker.
Mine!
2 more landmines filled with white chalk detonated in quick succession. The constantly peppering spray of machine gun fire paused momentarily, so the gunners in their nest wouldn't accidentally hit trainees before the wind cleared the chalk and they regained visuals. That was when Cake decided his moment had come. He finished knocking out one hostile, with a sucker punch to the face while the guy was basically already down. Then leapt up and turned toward the bulk of the hand-to-hand battle raging around them. Stop was holding his own fairly well, although he took more of a defensive stance and only swung at the hostiles coming toward him instead of fighting his way out. Idina stopped to grapple with another hostile when the guy grabbed her rifle and attempted to disarm her. She brought the side of the barrel cracking up into his face, then shoved him away. After that, she would have followed up with another blow to make sure the guy was down long enough for her to escape, but she was too distracted by a sound none of them expected to hear, even in a combat scenario like this one: laughter. It wasn't hard to pinpoint the source of that crazed, bloodied, half-choked sound, since it cut off abruptly when a hostile sent a fist flying into Cake's gut. That lasted as long as it took the corporal to catch his breath again. Then he was back to cackling away, swinging his fists and lashing out with swift booted kicks to send anyone who got too close to their knees.
He's gonna keep fighting like this. The guy can't feel a thing.
Knowing about Cake's strange inability to process pain was one thing, but watching it in action was an entirely different experience. With blood pouring down his face and pooling at the corners of his madman's grin, he leapt after the hostiles closing in on Pill. Once they noticed he was a lot more of a threat than the nerdy-looking soldier clutching his rifle to his chest like it was a shield instead, the 3 remaining hostiles turned away from Pill to engage Corporal Bunt. Idina scanned the battle. 4 hostiles on the ground, groaning and clutching various parts of their bodies. 1 currently grappling with Badge, and that wouldn't last much longer. 3 more ganging up on the bloody, grinning nutjob corporal who thought he could take them all at once. He probably could, but it wouldn't help the team if he got the shit beaten out of him before they reached their objective.
We're not getting out of this until every enemy combatant is on their back.
That was still technically possible, but now the gunners had started firing again, and who knew how many more hostiles were between the side of the ridge, the woods, and Xena 4 at the finish line. They had to get out of here, fast. Idina almost shouted for her team to regroup, maybe to team up and get the last 3 hostiles off Cake's back as they pummeled the guy repeatedly and he didn't go down. Then the sputtering roar of an engine revving up filled the air. A whoop of victory quickly followed it, and the growling spray of dirt and gravel shoved up under spinning tires before another UTV raced toward them. Skim was in the driver's seat.
Let's go, let's go, let's go!
He circled the corporal, still fighting off 3 hostiles simultaneously. Idina waved everyone else forward.
Get to Cake!
Badge finished her fistfight by cracking her knee into her opponent's face and shoving him to the ground. Then she and Trunk booked it toward Cake. Together, they made quick work of the 3 hostiles playing past the bloody corporal, mostly because Trunk's immense size momentarily caught the enemy soldiers off guard before he tossed them aside like empty sacks. Pill and Stop hurried toward the melee as machine gun fire rained all around them, and Skim brought the UTV he'd stolen to a skidding half-stop.